Thank you, Luke, and good morning, everyone. I'm going to show you, these are screenshots in the presentation of Cooney's real website and some of the things that we've done for them. You can see on their, what we now offer, the career opportunities, a link off their website. So all they've done is add a link, and instantly we've been able to give them, you can see the link here, access to right into our truck rate database. Each fleet has their own instance of a database, so there's no cross data between fleet to fleet. These job postings that are posted here are created by Cooney's. The system is fully bilingual. The only area, if you're creating a description of a position, you would provide translation. The rest of the system is fully bilingual. You'll notice on the inside of truck rate, we'll get to it shortly, there's an awful lot of drop-down boxes. It's because we can handle translation. Right now we are fully French-English. We are pretty much through Spanish, looking at Punjabi as our next language. With software development, adding other languages is quite easy for us to do, and basically market demand and what we hear back, feedback from the industry will be the languages that we put into it. But really, why we're here today is what else does truck rate software do? Employee logins. Again, this is a human resource system, so your staff, your drivers, your candidates can log in, continue an application, complete DQ file throughout the whole recruiting process. The other thing we offer, and Julie may or may not know about this is a screenshot, and this is not live on the website, but it should be within a week. Your previous employees, I don't know how many people have been involved with doing references on people that have worked for you, and it tends to be, if they're looking for one job, they may have hit 4 or 5 different fleets. You're doing references over and over again. The link that we're putting on Cooney's site, and any fleet that would like it, takes that prospective employer directly to DAD services. Cooney gives us a separation report on every driver that leaves, so you don't have to go through the time-consuming of dealing with handling the reference checks. All of the employment history, the safety performance data is stored in truck rate, and truck rate's database, DAD, is built like a credit bureau. Everything that goes in is signed by a driver. Everything that comes out has to be authorized. The driver has free access to see this. We're very transparent. So Julie, this will be a login for fleets that we'll be adding this week. So basically Julie's desk right now could be the right. A lot of us is the right, and what we're talking about getting to is the left. Just want to go a little bit more in depth of what DAD services are. DAD services, really, the top one that we've got is called Mom is Watching. We've played with it, with the words. Is the #1 package that people have been using. We do a 5-year work history for you, 3 years drug and alcohol, a PSP report. Our system, if you're using truck rate, the software, you can see at each driver level the status of what our staff is doing. We're fully accountable. There's a log of when you did the request for the employment verification, and every action we do, every conversation we have with that previous employer. We also have a database of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fleets, the contact information that the drivers are missing on the applications. We've got it all in one place. So when we do the work history, we get the data that your driver provides, but then we check to make sure that that fleet's real. We cross-check CVOR, we cross-check DOT numbers, all of that's done in the background. But as our database is growing and growing, we're spending less time because we have the fleets already reported. The accessorial services, PSP reports, obviously that's something that we do at pre-hire. But the police checks and driver's abstracts. The police checks is something, again, that we offer, and we see more drivers that are interested in getting the service through us than fleets. The driver's abstract and is something that we're providing on a quarterly basis. Whatever interim you decide. And again, when you get abstracts back from us, we put it in the driver file. It's filed if you use TruckRate software. Anything that's clear and complete, we will note it so that you can pass right on by it and look at the ones that aren't clear. The safety performance history, again, is what we talked about, what we're adding on Cooney's website and onto the other fleets that are using our software, is we'll do the references for your previous employees for you. Anybody that calls in, you can either put a link on the site or you can just tell them, call TruckRate Dad Services, Dad does our references. And they come through to us. I trust dad.ca is where they would be pointed to, and it would be a login screen that they would create an account once. The first time they come in, they can do one request. Once they've got an account approved, if they're doing multiple drivers, maybe a team left your company, they can actually do both requests at the same time. Security and privacy. We worked with one of the leading law firms before we wrote the first line of code for this. We were really concerned with doing this compliant and making sure that COPITA was not going to be an issue for us down the road. So when we don't ever send information, we send tokens, secure tokens. In your handouts, there's going to be a few words that you hear me talk about today that, excuse me. The back, I think underneath the Cooney reference, the back page talks, or second to last page, there's some glossary of some of the words that I'll be using. But secure token, basically this automatically gets generated and will go to the previous employer, identify who the driver is, identify the fleet that he worked for, they log in and they fill out the reference online, goes into the database. Once it's done, it goes back into, if you use TruckRate, it goes back into TruckRate. If you don't use TruckRate, if you're just using Dad Services, you'll receive a token that would look like this as well. And you click on it, you're in our database, secure area, then you can download the information on the driver who do both drug and alcohol and the employment verification. One of the reasons for using a third party, drivers sometimes omit things on their applications. Sometimes it's clerical, sometimes they work somewhere for a very short period of time and they may not want to put it on there. The more fleets we have using this, we're streamlining the hiring process by already having the references from previous employers. And what I want to talk to you on that specific, so this is a report. I'm going to get back to that story in a second. This would be a report, and I know you can't read it from here, but it's not a crooked fax, it's not illegible, it's a report that comes through. This is the employment, drug and alcohol. Again, I know you can't read it from the back of the room, but every one of these comes through as a report. It is not, and these are, when you receive this, you can print it and keep it. Or if you're in TruckRate, it comes right into your software. No going to the fax machine. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I just want to make sure because you've gone back and forth from the mic to walking around. Can everybody hear him well enough? Kind of so-so?
I'll stick close to the mic. Is that better?
I think you can just pull it out.
Just change the screens. So again, the premise of this is to give you a clean report, consistent. PSP reports, I think, percentage of people that get PSPs, yeah. So again, this comes back in the Dad Services, it's included in the price, and it goes right into the PSP file inside the driver's DQ file. Some people here know Lisa and I, some people don't. In Peter's introduction, we own a driver service. We recruit drivers. We're building a database of drivers. Why trust people that you don't know or people that may have an ulterior motive to do storing data? Why trust somebody you don't know to do TruckRate software? One of the things that you may or may not know about this, and Lisa and I did a little bit of research before we came here today. We own the largest collection site for drug and alcohol testing between Toronto and Montreal. We looked at the fleets that are here today. 36% of you use our services at one time or another. We've done over 5,000 tests in the last few years. Not once has any driver been solicited by our staff. ITS is not a Coupar customer. They're a truck rate customer, and they're a customer of ours for the last 10, 12 years that have used us for drug and alcohol testing. They hire drivers, and it's not uncommon for a driver to go from their place, come to our place looking for a job. But when it comes to the drug collection site, or DAD services, or truck rate, there is no blurred lines. DAD is a separate company, our staff are separate, and truck rate is separate. The databases are secure to our truck rate staff, and Coupar has nothing to do with this site. So I just wanted to touch base. I know when Lisa and I first started talking about building this, we look at strengths and weaknesses, and one of the perceived weaknesses is people may think, okay, well, why would we let a driver service do this sort of stuff? We aren't a driver service. This is DAD and truck rate, and it's a separate company, and there is no interaction. So truck rate, what is truck rate? Truck rate is paperless recruiting. Truck rate is paperless compliance. Good morning. So one of the things that we've done over the years is watch our clients, how they recruit, and the different formats. So we've had a lot of different fleets inputs into what they would like to see in recruiting, and what do they have. When I met with Mike a year and a half ago from Cooney's, their online application was basically information that they took, then the driver would come in and fill out an application. I don't know how many of you, your online application actually goes anywhere, or is it a PDF, or is it a text message, or is it an email? Ours is designed and is the driver file. He digitally signs it. It never has to be printed. You can print it if you like, and put it right in the driver file, if you want to keep paper. We talked about the machine and what truck rate is, the pipeline of getting drivers to work. So really, we have drivers that call in, we have drivers that come off of your websites, and what we're trying to find is efficient ways for you to get these fleets, get these drivers into your fleets, into your truck. Throughout the whole recruiting process, we are constantly looking for ways to get drivers to stay with us. And one of the things that fleets talk to us about, the ads that they post talk about their company. Their career pages on their websites, if they had one, tend to be, we're looking for drivers or not. This site allows you to create as many positions, locations across the country. The other nice thing about this, and I know some people have used a great product out of the States called 10th Street. 10th Street does a lot of really innovative things. One of the things that we identified that we wanted to do slightly differently is we offer, because we don't all just hire drivers. Truck Rate actually, depending on the position, will present an application for office staff. It doesn't ask how many years of driving experience or have you run the mountains. It is an office application. If you're hiring people for the dock, for the shop, maintenance, we present a separate application. So the applicant then will go through what level apprentice are you? Are you a trailer mechanic? So the questions we present are different based upon what position you call it. So this one that we're looking at here, these are all driver positions. And how I would quickly identify it if I was looking at this, where it says driver now, if it said shop or if it said office, that's what triggers the application to be presented differently to the candidate.